What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. This is my first placed cooler deck. I played this at the Gaming Universe box tournament. Gaming Universe is located in Flushing, Queens, here in New York City. So if you are in the Queens area and looking for a pretty fun local, Gaming Universe has Dragon Ball tournaments every Friday and Sunday. I was able to win their box tournament for set 9. That's also got the little Ultra Instinct deck box with some of my pulls over here. Let's get into the deck profile. So Cooler is one of the new leaders from set 9. He has a couple of different things going on for him with different autos. When he attacks your leader card, you can draw one. When the power of one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased, your opponent places the top card of their deck into their drop area. So he's got a little bit of a mill strategy for you Janemba fans out there who are looking for something that's a little different to play. Then he also has a once per turn auto. If it's your opponent's turn, when the power of one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased by the skill of one of your battle cards, you draw a card. He awakens at 4 or less. He's an untapped 1, draw 1 leader. And on the other side, he becomes Cooler, Revenge Transformed. He almost keeps the same type of autos. The only difference is when the power of one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased by the skill of one of your battle cards, you draw 1 card. That's no longer restricted to your opponent's turn. That happens on both players' turn. Just a forewarning, and almost you're looking at that Broly Crown of Retribution and sighing. This is not a budget build. If you're looking for budget alternatives, I definitely recommend many of the other YouTube channels that are out there for Dragon Ball Super. But if you're looking for probably one of the best builds of Cooler, you may want to take this into consideration. But we start off with 3 copies of Broly Crown of Retribution. I like looking at my opponent's hand, taking away threats. That's pretty much what he's there for. Otherwise, it's a good, quick red charge. You don't really want to play this too much in the mirror match, so it's a red charge in the mirror match for sure. We then go into 3 Frieza Death Embrace. It's a 1 mana cantrip, and then he has an active battle. It's not once per turn, so you choose up to one of your opponent's red leader cards or battle cards, and it gets negative 10k power for the duration of the battle. It costs 1 red energy, so if you have multiple red energy and they have like a big, bomb on board, you can neg it multiple times, which then triggers your leader's ability to have them mill cards. So that's pretty cool. We max out on the Beerus Super Combo. It's a red-blue Super Combo. If you combo with it on your opponent's turn, you get to untap a red-blue energy that you control. I do have the Cooler Clan Avengers. I main 2 of them for its effect. He has Barrier, which is pretty cool. And if your leader is a Frieza Clan card, which it is, when you play him, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets negative 15k power for the turn. And if your leader is a Frieza Clan card, at the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent places the top card of the deck in the drop area. So if you sit there for a few turns, they're milling, and you're gonna. This is our basically our check land. But it's also a card that you can actually play, because when Mecha Frieza Energy Blight attacks, you can choose up to one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards, and it gets negative 5k power for the duration of the turn. So one of the cool things that I like to do is if you're able to stick a Frieza's Death Embrace and this card, you can make their leader really small and push through for easy damage. This acts like sort of a swap-ish combo. So they both have similar effects. So you have Combo Attack Cooler and Frieza on any Onslaught. And for 1 blue, you can choose 1 red or blue Frieza's Clan card in your battle area other than itself. And you return it to your hand and play the other guy from your hand. So when this one attacks or is attacked, you can choose up to 1 red-blue multicolor card in your drop area and combo with it. So if it's your opponent's turn, you can combo with like your super combo. You won't get the effect because it's not comboing from your hand, but it is a red-blue to trigger some of the arrival cards that we're going to talk about later. And then the Frieza, his effect, he's able to get back, you choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area. When you play this card, choose up to 1 red or blue Frieza Clan card in your drop area with an energy cost of 5 or less and add it to your hand. This is going to be a good way to recycle certain cards that were coming up later on in this deck profile. In the 3-drop slot, we have Hercule and Majin Buu, Friends Forever. It's another way to Arrival. It's Arrival for blue if you have red-blue. So if you Arrival, you play combo this. You rival this into play, you're able to neg a battle card 10, draw a card, and then at the end of the turn, you can bounce a 3 or less that's not him back to your hand. So some of the cards you might want to back out is Mach Speed Kaioken, which is our only counterplay in the deck. We play 3 copies of that. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a counterplay, and if a multicolored card is in your energy, you reduce him by 1, so he comes out for 2. And when you play this card, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets a negative 10k power for the duration of the turn. Then, if it's your opponent's turn, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets negative 5 power for the duration of the turn. So one of the cool things that most people aren't aware of, this effect can target the same battle card twice. So if it lives after the first power reduction, you can choose it again to get it negative 5, and that will trigger the leader's effect 2 times, one for the negative 10 and again for the negative 5. So that's something that most people aren't aware of. So you get 2 mils off of this, which is really cool. This is one of our main negates in the deck, Frieza No Introductions. He is a 2-cost card on your opponent's turn, and he has an activate main where if you play 2 red, 1 blue, you can choose 1 red or blue Frieza clan card in your hand with an energy, 1 blue Frieza card, with a 5 or with a cost of 5, and you play it on top of this card. So that's going to be that Frieza that you see there. But first, we're going to talk about the main guy in the deck, Cooler Tyrannical Assault. We max out on 4 copies of him. He's a double striker, 20k arrival with a red-blue for 1 red. And when he comes into play, he does a lot of cool things. So your opponent places the top card of the deck in their drop area. Then you choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and they get negative 10 for the duration of the turn. So if your opponent has 2 battle cards on board, it is essentially a mill 3, because they mill 1 for its own effect, and then since it targets 2 battle cards, it triggers the leader twice. And this is really cool. You can combo multiples on the board off of 1 super combo. And that's pretty, insane when you think about it. Full Power Frieza is just another way to kind of like close out the game. He has Triple Strike. When he attacks, you choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and they get negative 30k power for the duration of the turn. And then this other auto is when the power of one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased, your opponent places 2 cards from the top of their deck in their drop area. So if your opponent goes wide, he has like, let's say 3 or 4 guys on board. This is going to hit all of those guys for negative 30. It's going to trigger your leader multiple times, and then his own effect is going to go off because you net the battle card you're milling to. You're going to mill an insane amount of cards with this guy if the attack goes through. Even if it's negated, it's an auto, so it always happens. It's insane. It's a great way to close out games if you're trying to win with the mill strategy. But you know what? He's also a 30k triple strike that goes on top of this guy for 3 energy, so he comes out for 3, and it's just super powerful, super amazing card. I can't say anything more about it. This package here is just insane. We do play Exploiting Weakness. This is just a way to kind of like, reduce guys. It's a counterplay. It's 19k. If you're looking for like a budget alternative, or then you can just outright like cut this. If you're looking to try to like build a variant of this that isn't as expensive, especially with the secret rare from the set, Black Smoke Dragon Eternal Evil. What more can I say about this card? It's just a win more card. You can choose all your opponent's battle cards in Iron Barrier, send them to the warp, or you can send the top 7 cards of your opponent's deck to their warp and draw 2, or you choose 4 cards from their opponent's hand and send them to the warp. Comes off for 5 if you have 12 in your drop. Super powerful card. Probably the only secret that might be worth running in this deck. Or if you're looking to do the like a budget aggro variant, you can swap this out for the Quad Strike Frieza, the 8-drop Frieza's Army, the one that has Paragus and Broly on it. And you can play like a much more aggro variant of the card. For the extra cards, 3 after image, pretty much a staple in red. Cease to Exist is just insane. At its worst, it's 5k combo. You can also use it to target. It chooses up to 2 guys, ignoring barrier, minuses them 25k. Super good card. Is that all you got? Probably one of the better negates to run in this deck because it chooses 2 guards, negs them 15. It's also a very important negate for certain decks out there. And of course, because it's a red-blue deck and we have blue in the deck, we have Sons of Bean. Sons of Bean is super important for defensive and offensive pressure. But that's pretty much the deck from the Gaming Universe box tournament, first place. If you guys like this, please, give me a follow, like, subscribe, the whole nine. I'll leave a comment on your thoughts below. If you are interested in a budget alternative, hit me up in the comments, and I'll let you know what some of the good budget alternative cards are there. So until next time, enjoy.